You got me so excited.
So
Rachel.
sorry.
No, it's
Hello,
okay.
everyone. We are live.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our live cast recording party for the Anxiety Project. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Friends, family, fans of the Anxiety Project, tonight is the night. We're going to celebrate this new work. We're going to chat with some of the creators. We're going to chat with some of the singers and actors.
Friends, Kevin may be having some connection problems. Are we good?
I'm so sorry. I'm here now. I'm going to tell everybody right now that's listening to this. Hi, everybody. What just happened was I just started hearing the YouTube video of our broadcast, and I heard my voice going over it, and that's why you heard me have like a little mini stroke. So hi, welcome. So that is exactly what happened. Welcome everybody to our party. Now I'm here present, and I've turned off the other YouTube stream because I don't need to listen to myself in 10 seconds in advance. My name is Kevin David Thomas. I am your host, hopefully, and guide for this evening, the festivities. It isn't so not about me. I'm just here to help channel and get everyone involved. And you listeners, friends, family, fans of this work is just to get us to hear some of these songs, meet some of the players involved, meet some of the instrumentalists, the orchestrator, the music director, director, so many people involved, and you see some of them right now, and you will be meeting each one of them throughout this evening and hearing a bunch of songs from this amazing piece of music. I actually, it was one of my favorite things about theater, you guys, is that there's so many, there's what, 9 or 12 of us in the room right here. There's people listening that I don't even know who you are. I think my wife is, and my mom, and a couple other people. But one of my favorite things about the theater is that we can all barely know each other, and yet we can all feel suddenly a part of the same tribe and the same club, or whatever words you want to use, because we are all here for the same thing. And I just love that part about this business, is that we are instantly have credibility. Like I met these people today, and I feel like they know me already, and I know you already, and you listening and watching us, same exact thing. So I just here to shout out that and love that. I actually met Rachel Dean and David Brush, the writers of this amazing piece, a couple years ago. We tried to figure out what it was. I think it's like 3, maybe 4 years ago. I teach at the New York Film Academy in New York City, and we do a New Works Festival, and I was lucky enough to be the music director of this piece. And we do new works all the time in this business, but every once in a while you run across people that are really, really, really special, as you all know already. And so that's why I'm here again after a couple years, just to take part in this celebration. I have a podcast called Behind the Curtain, Broadway's Living Legends, and we celebrate this art form as well. And we actually featured this piece last week in one of our mini podcasts, so you can check that out if you would like to learn a little bit more about Rachel and David themselves. And while tonight is about them, it is about the other folks, the students who brought this piece together. So we will introduce everybody. I think if it's okay with everyone, we will kind of go as we go along and listen to this journey, instead of having a little moment right now. So to start us off, first of all, when I get to everybody, if there's anything, because you guys have heard some of these songs, they're on YouTube. Everybody, you can go listen on YouTube. And we're in the process of getting this to be released with all the streaming places and all of that. Just know that is in the process. It's a new world, Golda, and so things take a little bit more time nowadays. That's a Fiddler on the Roof reference, yes. And so it's taken a little bit of time, but just know that we are in that process, and it is happening. And I can't wait for everyone to be able to have a copy of it in their hands. Until then, you can go to YouTube and check it out. So when I get to you guys, if anyone has any things for us to look out for before the first song, or whatever song we might be listening to, because you guys have heard these things before, feel free to give us a little context. I, of course, am going to ask you other things as well as we go along. And so for the first song, Today and Every Day, Rachel and David, this is for you, actually. Was this song added more recently than in the last couple years, or has this song always been here?
Oh, it's so funny you should ask. David, do you want to take that?
We did not plan this, folks.
No, it's brand new. And honestly, and I think a lot of people will tell you this, and Rachel will attest, openers are just rough. And in a show like this, they're really, really rough. I mean, how do you we can have 5 minutes about our own anxiety, right? Leading us into songs about anxiety. It just doesn't work. So the concept for this opening number anyway, and there were several other versions of this that were prees of work that happens later in the show. But ultimately it was, what's it like every morning to wake up and know that today is going to probably look like yesterday did? And am I going to survive this one? So and I think that was a great way to sort of get people in who maybe didn't understand that daily struggle, and maybe understand that waking up every morning is as trying as any other trauma in anyone's life for those that are really suffering. So that was the lyric impetus anyway.
Yeah, indeed. And also, Rachel, I imagine, musically, when you are, opening numbers are supposed to be what, like up, happy, and, all those things that we think of, right? There's a reason why famously shows were not successful, and then they redid the opening number, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking of like a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, and then famously turned around because they like, quote unquote, figured it out. And I know that you guys have changed a little bit of the concept of the show, and that helped focus the intro. How was it trying to make a happy number with music and yet still dealing with this really deep, topic?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like part of the conversations that we had about it was like, well, we don't want to trick people into thinking that this is not going to be a heavy show, but we can't start out being like, everything is awful all the time, because we get to that beat a lot in the show anyway. And that doesn't make someone want to watch the show. So we sort of were trying to find this like a curious optimism that maybe isn't really substantiated by the facts of the people's lives that are living, but like that's the only way that they move forward. And then over the course of the show, we kind of see that like, no, actually, like this is not enough, this isn't okay. But to start out in that place, because I think a lot of people do, because I don't think anyone ever starts out knowing that they have mental health issues. I think it's a slow realization over time. So it felt true to the emotions of the characters to start in that place.
I love it. I love it, Rachel. I think let's listen to it. This is the opening song, Today and Every Day.
It's all in my head. It's all in my head. The problem here is all just in my head.
It's Monday morning, rain beats down my window. The stress begins the second I leave this pillow.
There's a likely chance this day will trend toward the ways these days always seem to end.
Defeat, delete,
and a sudden retreat.
It's a dance I know too well, a spell I can't seem to quell. So I'll move at the pace I can, formulate a survival plan. I roll the weight of the wind in my head, just adjust the sails instead, saying only what I have to say, just to get me through today and every day. I can feel it rising up again. Don't wanna be the way I've always been, so I pause
And let the coffee do its work to tame any socially unacceptable quirk.
but the feelings still lurk beneath the surface. So I'll shut that away in the service of just surviving the day. And I'll move at the pace I can, formulate a survival plan. The monster that lives under my bed is renting room now in my head. So I'll say only what I have to say, just to keep the beast at bay. Another day, I am worth
gosh. Yeah, nailed it. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I love the setup. I love the setup. I'm serious. I love hearing from Rachel and Dave and hearing like how you guys found that, because you totally found the energy and the excitement of it, and how exciting it must have been for you guys to have been a part of it. We're lucky today because Benedict is here. Benedict Braxton Smith, who's the orchestrator. Hello, sir. Welcome. Welcome. I understand you've been a part of this journey for a couple years now. Tell us about when you got started on this project. Like, when did you guys start working together?
I'm looking at Rachel's Zoom square.
I know, right? You're trying to like get like
to me. 2016. Then
yeah, okay.
Right?
It's been a couple years then. So
the Film Academy production. When was that?
That's right.
Was that 2016?
That was 2016, right?
Times.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No. A long time in various random weird iterations and very stretched out.
Totally. And so, yeah, go ahead.
There are charts in the score that were written in 2016 and haven't changed since.
And so when things would change, Benedict, what were some of the reasons that you would have changed things, other than like obvious things, because songs changed and we took things out, etc. But like, how have you evolved in your orchestration writing over the last couple of years, if at all? I mean, I don't want to project that, but
no, I mean completely. It's orchestration is all about taste and problem solving, and how you're like mechanically solving musical problems, essentially. Problems not in that they're bad, it's just a solution of a construct, and everything about the way your mind works around that changes month to month even. And so like, there's choices I made that they're not bad choices, but they're not what I would have gone with today. But that's totally fine.
Yes.
And it's interesting. It's cool to like listen through the album, and I can like pick exactly when I orchestrated each of them, like the
right.
decisions I made, because it's also not like I'm not exactly an adult who's been doing this for 50 years and is quite set in their ways. So yeah, the changes I guess were all like, I mean, it's like the first time I orchestrated it, I only really did like half the show, and it was for Knife Art. It was
I remember, yeah,
cajon and guitar, and mostly just like supplementing the piano part, and then like
spruce it up. Yeah,
we got to do slightly more, and then the next time we got to add a bass, and then we got to like round it out, and so it was very additive, the whole process.
What I think is really cool also, and while you guys, when you're listening today, I want you guys out there listening and people listening in this party to check out how Benedict, I'm putting my music director hat on, it's bass, drums, guitar, correct? I mean, we don't have like 20-piece orchestra here, but what I think that is really cool what Benedict did, and I'm excited to talk to Zachary Bush, and those of you who are watching us right now, Zachary is the bass player. You will know this because there's the bass literally right behind him. And so we will be talking to Zachary later on because he played the bass on this album. But what's really cool, Benedict, is that, we've all done concerts where we're like, okay, bass, okay, drums, okay, guitar, just keep up, make this work. This music that Rachel has written is so rhythmic, it's so precise, and there's so much going on. What you've done is created a palette that I think is more than just your typical bass, drums, guitar part. You could, I'm sure Zachary will be able to talk about, especially in a couple songs, some of these parts and charts, as we call, that you made for it. Can you speak a little bit about, how you created such, I don't know, a diverse sound when it's kind of a simple rhythm section?
Yeah, I mean, that's the mission, and that's the issue, is that like small ensembles, varying a color palette is the entire trick. I mean, it's a joke I make whenever I'm like teaching this, is that I hate piano, and that's the answer. Is that piano is like a phenomenal instrument, and it was invented to replace an entire orchestra. And so if you're not careful with it, it drowns out an entire orchestra. It makes everything kind of pointless. And so I always look at it like anything like this, where you have very few instruments and one of them is a piano. I try to like put the piano in the background and think about how other things drive. Because that's super important. And obviously in this, like the very first thing you hear in the entire show, which was incredibly important to me, is the sound of a guitar. It's a quarter
and
of
that theme too. That theme is it runs through the entire piece, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like that's
and to me, it's just so important that like the other things lead, because otherwise the ear just gets tired. And obviously, I from memory, I wrote a reasonably active bass part.
Zach, is he right? Is it pretty active? Is it a pretty active bass part?
Yes, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of notes.
Just I feel like the most boring thing you can do is have a bass just dom 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 dom. You can get away with that when you have 12 pieces, but when you have 4, it's just got to do something more interesting, and you've got to, you know, there's this. I mean, the approach I try to take to everything, artistic and personal in my life, is that everything has to matter, and so I'm not going to like put a piece of ink on the page just because. It's kind of like, got to make sure everything is doing something interesting at all times.
Right, telling the story. I love it. Thank you. That's really, really incredible. Thank you so much, Benedict. And I'm so glad you're here to share some of that with us. Thank you.
I know. It's really right that the first person you speak to is the orchestrator. That's what they always do.
Trying to shine a little light, just trying to shine a little light on some of these secrets, some of these hidden things that we don't ever talk about in the showbiz. You know, give the orchestrator his light.
They don't even air the Tony Award for Best Orchestrator anymore. We will do this.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for the gifts and that we get to hear and share. And you guys check out those things we talked about as we listen today. Great. So we're going to talk to a singer now for the next song. Gigi, hey, where are you? Wave to everybody. Yay! How you doing? So Gigi Sierra. Great. Yeah, you played Avery. So this is this is the piece is about her. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like playing this part and who she is in this piece?
Avery is pretty much the main character of the piece. She's kind of the first person you really get to meet in the show. She is kind of at the end of her college experience and is writing a thesis all about anxiety, and is pretty much having it be statistic based. And the story kind of follows her and her relationship with her younger sister Macy, and kind of how she's so sucked into this project that she is ignoring what's going on with her little sister and the problems that her sister is facing. And one of
it's kind of, not to interrupt you, but it's for those of us listening. I mean, literally her whole life's work right now in this moment of college is like literally what her sister is. Not funny. I mean, it's what her sister is suffering from, unfortunately. But it's funny how we can be blind and not see the forest for the trees. Is sort of what you're saying.
Totally. Yeah. I think she gets really wrapped up in the ambition. Like, she's very driven, very ambitious, and is so sucked into just I'm so close, I'm almost at the end, and she just completely ignores what's happening around her. I even think the stress that she's feeling, she wouldn't even take the time to take a breather and be like, I'm going through it.
Yeah. So we're about to listen to Think About That, which is sort of her, it's like the I Want song, the setup number, the number that gets us into it. What are some things that we should listen to? What are some things that you might help point out along the way in this song as we listen to it, perhaps for the first time?
Well, she definitely gives her little intro, kind of her get to know me, like YouTuber intro along the way. And you get that right at the beginning of the song. And throughout the song, you can really hear all the things that she is looking forward to and kind of manifesting, just the success that's going to come with how hard she's worked. And you can definitely hear towards the bridge section, there's a whole part where she talks about how many people she's going to help and how ready to take on that role.
I love that. What was your, before we listen to it, what was your favorite thing about playing this part? Yeah, I know. That's
really hard. I really, really enjoyed something that we didn't get to do in this past recording. There were tons of scenes when we did at the theater for the New Works Festival. And I really enjoyed the dynamics between the sisters, because I'm an older sister myself, I have a younger sister. And so that relationship really meant a lot.
I love that. I think that's really special, and we're going to see that. I think it's a great time to listen to this song. So this is Think About That, Avery's first song that Ms. Gigi Sierra is going to sing for us on this album.
So first things first, who am I? I am a 23-year-old college student / happily single female / superhero fanatic / friend you call at 3 a.m. because I will always answer / dog lover / cat hater / all-around well-balanced high achiever. I'm a semi-millennial, hence all the slashes, and I am not defined by just one thing. Well, not yet. One semester away. Finally. About how I'll be free of professors, sleep in for a change, eat normal food. Think about how this will all be ending closer to the corner office, the private practice. Your next patient, Dr. Holliston. Oh, should I hold your calls, Dr. Holliston? Your private jet has arrived, Dr. Holliston. Think about how all the work will be worth it. Name on the door, diploma on the wall. Think about apartments with more than one room and an actual kitchen and a view of the city. Just think about that. Think about all the lives you'll be changing, the people you're helping, the minds you'll be healing. Just think about that. Case after case, face to face, check them off one by one. Damn, it's gonna feel good to finally win when the doctor is finally in. I can do this. One more paper, one more step. Think about how you earned your career now, stepped through the paces, paid your dues. Think about how the life that you wanted is just 16 weeks away, give or take a day. Just think about that. Yeah, just think about that.
Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic work. Really, 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 really great work.
Thank you
should
so
be proud.
much.
That's like really good. It's amazing how you can like I imagine, because you got to do this on your, semi-staged, and you got to like flesh this out. But for everyone, I'm sure, to have such an action song, and yet you're like, think about what, you have to like manufacture that, right? So well done giving us that excitement and that action in the song. Really, really exciting. So in the same room with you, actually, before I get to you, Miss Hannah, just a shout out to everyone who's listening us and watching our listening party right now. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions at all, feel free to like shoot those into the little chat. And one of us will be able to. It's not going to be me, because we all heard what happened last time. I opened up tried to watch the YouTube and heard my voice and stopped talking. So I'm not going to even open up the YouTube chat again. But someone will read out the questions. And if you have any, I do encourage you to send your questions so we can get some of those answered. Now, Miss Hannah Christensen. So tell me, what parts did you play in this show? Were you one part, or did you do more than one thing in this little shindig?
Well, I did more than one thing. I was 3 different characters. Very exciting and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played Hope, Rachel, and Christina.
So tell me, I'm sure that there were things that united them, but how were they all different? Can you give us just a little bit on each one of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, each of them sang a different song and had a different mental illness or situation that they might have been dealing with. Hope was a 16-year-old girl who was dealing with OCD, ADHD, and anxiety. There was Rachel, who was dealing with alcoholism and some other issues with relationships and that sort of stuff. And then Christina was someone... like her premise in that song was going to like a help group with friends and talking about mental illness in that capacity. So they all kind of had like different situations, different ways of coping and dealing and all that kind of stuff.
Was it, I imagine like everyone is dealing with heady stuff in this piece. What were the challenges of having to like flip gears and go from one disorder to another? If there are challenges, I don't know what your process is like, but I imagine that's a lot to chew on.
Yeah, it was a lot. Something that was hard for me. Also, I feel like I'm forgetting there was a 4th person I played too, but it's like it's leaving my brain right now.
It's all good. It's totally fine.
The challenge with that was in our readings. For example, I sang RDJ and Me, which was the 16-year-old girl character.
Which we're going to listen to in a minute. Yeah, RBJ and Me.
Yes, right? Very fun. And then I immediately had to transition to singing Shattered with the amazing Nellie Shuford, which was a mother-daughter duet where they were in this big fight. So to shift from like having anxiety and all those problems as a 16-year-old girl to dealing with a very like adult problem.
Yeah.
It's like an immediate time frame was difficult, but also was a good exercise, I guess, as an actor and performer to have to make that switch. So it was cool to like step into different shoes of all these different people, but it definitely was a challenge and took a lot of like reflection and work on my part.
Sure.
Yeah.
So set us up for the song we're about to listen to, which I love that for those of you who know the song, you know, there's like a little joke in the title. Some of you're like, what is RDJ and why does that matter? So can you, without giving it away, can you set us up a little bit for what this song is and why it's being sung?
Yes. So this is the 16-year-old girl, Hope, who has a mental illness situation going on in her life. And her coping mechanism for her problems is she daydreams about this certain RDJ, and to kind of cope and escape reality into this like daydream of what she wishes her life were, I guess. Yeah.
I think that is a perfect lead-in. I think it's time to hear this song. Let's go for it.
Think about what he'll say when you're together. Think about all the ways he'll change your life. Think about sun-drenched summer days, walking arm in arm to concerts, movies, plays. Imagine what he'll do when you're alone with him, the way his lips will feel as they kiss yours, how his arms will hold you tight, and how you'll feel that everything's alright. Just think about everything I will be when Robert Downey Jr. marries me. Some girls plaster posters on their bedroom walls, some cut out faces in magazines, but that's not the kind of girl I am. I'm not just a passing school girl, fair weather fan. I know one day we'll have our meet cute moment, and he will see as clearly as I do that he and I are bound by fate and cannot resist the pull. No time to wait. Maybe I can finally be strong and free when Robert Downey Jr. kisses me, and then naturally our wedding day, I can see my gown of white and he entail the tuxedo. Flower girl gently tossing blooms of rose. The band would play our special song. We'd know all the words and sing along, and all would be right that once was wrong before. A private jet would whisk us off to Paris, walking arm in arm along the Seine. Dinner for two under the stars above, falling madly, deeply, and achingly in. Then we'd have a family, 2 girls and a boy, a real family. Imagine he and I walking through the theater door at the red carpet premiere of Iron Man 4. The press would all gather close around and ask about the new beauty Robert's found. And I will be the beauty they see when Robert Downey Jr. chooses me. And I will not need pills anymore the day RDJ comes through my door. No one will think I'm sick or weird or broken when Robert Downey Jr. says I do. Just us against the world. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. Me and you.
Well done. My goodness.
Thank you.
Really, really, really nice work, Hannah. Wow. That must be a fun song to sing.
It is so fun. And then there's that moment of like, not intensity, but like a real moment in the middle too. So it's like a good dose of super fun and real, and I love it.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Nice work.
Thank you.
So we talked a little bit about the orchestration, storytelling, and you could hear that work in the last song. You could hear the acting work done. Let's bring in our director of this piece, Kate Leonard. Hi, Kate. So you're, you had the dubious job of getting to put this out, do the reading. I guess it was semi-staged, and then there's this moment where you have to sort of. I mean, I would like you to talk about how you sort of translate the work that's done that we can see as an audience, in front of us. Well, when we listen to a cast recording, we don't get to have that same experience. Did you have any discussions about that, or did you have to adjust any kind of directing that you did when it came time to record this piece?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked a lot about it actually as a group, just that you sort of have to drop into the middle of a high stakes moment, usually at the top of each of these songs. And then you also don't get the catharsis of going through the journey of the show. So like Cade Trotter sings a very intense song, and then he did, after recording it, he didn't really get to have the joy of getting to the end of the finale and get to be cheered up by it. So it was definitely a strangely emotional experience to record and sort of demand an emotional performance out of nothing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And I think that you're wise to bring up that part, like, when we do a show at night, everyone shows up at 8 o'clock or at 2 o'clock, and we all sit in the theater and we go from point A to point B. But, you guys might not have even recorded these songs in order. They could have been, well, we got these 3 people here, let's do this. So I'm so glad that you bring that point up where when we're listening to it, we think, oh, this is just recorded like we saw the show, but it's so not the case, let alone if you have to, what we call punching in, where you go in and sing this little part again, or sing this one little piece again. So I'm so glad that you bring up that point, Kate, that the challenges of having to recreate a moment in time that is literally out of time. Can you talk a little bit more about the challenges also of a piece that is, it's sort of not your, and I say this with love because you guys know I love this piece, but this is not your typical musical theater comedy, happy-go-lucky type show, which we've talked about a lot, but another word that's come up a lot is emotion. What are the challenges of dealing with a piece that has so much emotion in it?
Yeah, it's a heavy piece. I think all of us sort of, even to this day, sort of carry it with us as, just sort of a part of our own mental health. I can certainly check in with myself more accurately now that I've done this show. I think it was a lot about creating a safe space where we could all feel like we could say, hey, this one's really personal for me, or hey, your performance really hit me today in a different way than it has, and maybe I need to talk about it, or maybe I just need to let you know that it affected me today. I think this group of people is incredible, and they all are so supportive of each other. So it was sort of really easy to create that environment and get that environment going. But especially in a small amount of time when you have a reading of, or when you don't have the luxury of like this super long rehearsal process. I mean, I'm projecting here, but the fact that everyone are students or knows each other and is in this sort of like, petri dish together, that you can, the good things, the bad things, but it's a way that you can, if it's a safe space, it could be the most incredible place to create something that's kind of scary like this. Yeah, absolutely. And then I just really quick want to give a shout out to our dramaturg, Angelica Howlands. Really, truly was incredible. She's truly brilliant. And she helped us so much in our original workshop, just to make sure that everything was authentic as possible.
We're dealing with real issues here that like need to be treated with respect, but also clarity, and they've got to be truthful. I'm so glad. There's not a lot of musicals that deal with mental health illness. I mean, we talked about with Rachel and David on my podcast, but I can think of like Lady in the Dark, 1941, On a Clear Day You Can See Forever. I mean, Next to Normal. There's not a lot. I mean, so it really is such a very important topic to discuss. But like you said, it's a delicate thing. And I think from what I've heard already with the work on this cast album, it's really, really beautiful work that you've got out of them, Kate. It really is lovely. So yeah,
it is all them,
really
but
well done. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. And it's also with a cast recording listening party. We don't always get to see the director as well. So I'm really glad that we get to put a face to the name. So thank you so much for your work, Kate. Really, really well done. I'd like to bring Griffin LeBlanc and Cade Trotter. Hey guys. I see Cade and I see Griffin there. Oh yes, you got the setup. I love it. Hey guys. So this is the father-son piece. And you know, one of my favorite things about being in college is that you get to play roles and relationships that maybe you normally might not get if you were 21 graduating school. So I'll start with you, Griffin, because you played the father figure in this song that we're going to hear in just a couple minutes. Are there any challenges, you know, having to play a father, you know, and are you a dad? I doubt it. Maybe you are, but probably not. And so, like, let alone you don't have a 20-year-old or a 16-year-old. So, what were the challenges inherent in that? Because it's the material is all there and it all makes sense. But what was that like? You know, going to town on that?
Yeah, it was such a strange thing to try and figure those things out, because I've never had to really deal with I guess father issues before. So I had to kind of do a bit of research and talk to some people about like kind of those kind of things. And it was just, I really wanted to portray it in a way that wasn't offensive, but also in a way that was real.
Yeah. And it's hard to create something real that you haven't experienced yet, but I think you did such a great job.
Thank you.
And I think it shows in the work you did. Cade, tell me about what it was like to sing this material.
This song, like, strangely is very applicable to my life and experience with my own father. So it was always kind of very cathartic to sing it. And whenever I would like perform it, there was like one time I did a voice jury that ended up in like sobbing.
I'm not laughing. I mean, it's not funny, but like I've been in many a voice jury before, and like those are listeners out there. Those of you who know, like it's like the most serious of all. Like it's the most conservatory. Like here we go, voice jury. That's me pushing my glasses up on my nose. Like no, I mean I have glasses and I do, but we're talking like square environment. And I love the fact that Cade decided that this was it. You connected deeply to that song, didn't you?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to like cry in front of
the it's not about that.
So yeah, I really enjoyed singing this, and like I find the music that Rachel wrote and the lyrics that David wrote to like match perfectly. It's such like this power ballad that I feel like it's unsuspecting when it first comes up.
Yeah, totally. And the fact that we get this father-son thing, and we go from father to the son in the same, with two different songs that are connected in a way. I agree. I'm excited. Let's listen to this song. So this is Something Like Love into Here on My Own. Let's listen to this father-son number.
So there's so much to say. I mean, I guess there is. It's like years of words ready to burst that suddenly won't come. But here I am standing. I guess better late than never.
What do you want?
I want to say I'm sorry and ask if you're okay. Been sitting in my car out back, rehearsing this all day. But the truth is, when it comes to you, I never found the words. All I knew when I looked at you was something like love. So I'm here now in your doorway, and I know you wonder how. If there's anything you want from me, I guess the time is now. The truth is, I have always loved you, and always will somehow. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before, but now that we're face to face,
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5
you get my letters?
Letters? Yeah. I got your letters. I'm sorry, was what it said. I was scared, is what I read. 7 letters to end all the things that we shared. I'm sorry, all it said. I was scared, is what I read, and that was it. Finished, over, done. An ending I couldn't repair, but the end of us doesn't mean the end of me. Do you have any idea what happened to us? To Mom? To me?
I was not in a good place. I needed to take care of what I
thought it was hopeless. I thought that I blew it. The world I had known was gone as I knew it. But I'm stronger than that, and I have survived on my own. I thought I was dying and lived life regretting. The sun in my sky had faded to setting, but you can't have that. I've made it just fine on my own. On my own. So live your life like I never even mattered. I can't wake each day wondering how it's my fault I'm alone. Live your life like my world never shattered, 'cause you weren't there, and I don't care. I'm better, I swear, on my own. I was 8 years old. Who does that to an 8-year-old?
Hey, I was doing the best I could. The best I knew how.
I thought I would harbor a sea of resentment when one man destroys all I once called contentment. But that was before I knew I was fine on my own. I thought I could drink all the hurt left behind, try to forget all the you clogging up my mind. But I know that now I found myself here on my own, on my own. So live your life like my world never stopped turning. That 8-year-old kid's now a man you don't know. Live your life as if mine were not burning, 'cause you weren't there, and I don't even care. I'm better, I swear, on my own.
All I know to say is I'm sorry for the way
you should have known better. So I'll go on with a new strength discovered, the me I found on the backside of shame. So live your life and I will live mine, unafraid of myself, my heart off the shelf and my own. So thank you for all the pain. I'm proud of what has remained. Finally better off here on my own.
Well done. Well done. Well done. I interrupted it before it stopped sounding. If we were in acting class, I would have yelled at myself for stopping the song before it was over. Well done, you guys. Really, really, really beautiful work. It's really effective. I would like to welcome another Cade to the shenanigans here. Hi, Cade Bailey. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. So you're going to sing. The song we're going to hear from you next is Don't Be Crazy. Now, if we were to have seen this in person, what would we have seen during this song, Don't Be Crazy? What kind of energy are we serving up here in this song?
Yeah, so when we did this, we every time we performed this was at a music stand. So it was interesting doing a song like this with so much chaotic, neurotic energy. and just being kind of confined to the music stand. So yeah, I guess I just tried to channel that, neurotic in your head, neurotic energy that I honestly know so well, all that anxiety is just in your head building up. I just tried to channel that in a more contained way, I guess.
Totally. And definitely. And you did. And can you set us up a little bit? Because the song is called Don't Be Crazy. Who is this guy? Like, why is he singing this song? What's going on here?
So this is Dylan. And in Don't Be Crazy, he is he's texting a girl that he likes and she hasn't responded. And basically the entire song is just his internal spiral into what that could mean. And the song title is interesting because he's probably been called crazy a lot in his life. And so he kind of, I think that he says to himself, don't be crazy so often, just to, what people say about me, what, so you kind of just see his journey into like something so simple as someone not responding to your text as these are all these things that this means. I'm going to be alone. She hates me. Right. I'm never going to find anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And how that spiral could be literally something that happens on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And what that challenge
every
is like.
Little thing he goes through. Yeah.
Definitely. I want to bring Zach into this conversation real quick. We're going to talk, Zach, at the end after this song, because I believe this song has a kind of interesting bass part. We were talking a little bit earlier with Benedict about some of the excitement that he brought to these parts. Rachel writes really, really rhythmic, fun music, as you guys all know. And Benedict certainly executed that really, really well with the rhythm section. Beautifully well. Zach, can you speak a little bit about the bass part and this song in general as well, and maybe something we can look for so when we talk to you afterwards on the other end that we'll say, wow, that was really something.
Sure. I mean, with this one, it's just constant. I mean, this was like basically a big endurance challenge because of how much the bass is playing all throughout. So, and it's quick too. It's at a quick tempo. So it just, even when I was practicing this one, I couldn't practice it for too long because I would just like burn myself out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to talk more about that on the other end. All right. So here we're going to have Cade Bailey singing Don't Be Crazy. You listen for Cade, of course, and the energy he brings to this part. Also check out the bass line as you guys are listening to it as well. And we'll talk to Zach on the other end. All right. Let's listen to this.
So I sent her this text at exactly 9:30. I said, hey, how's your day? Nothing too wordy. Just 14 letters long, so what did I do wrong? Because it's 10 p.m. and my phone hasn't beeped yet. My mind's creating stories, don't know how to interpret. I'm sure she's at the gym for some yoga or a late night swim. No, 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 I won't let my mind confuse me. No, 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 I won't let my heart deceive me. Can't allow this screen anymore to pin me to the proverbial floor. Just calm and chill, relax a bit and don't be crazy. No, don't be crazy. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. It's 10:15. I feel like something's lurking. I'd better call Verizon just to check that it's working. Maybe she tried to call, I need tech support, that's all. Or maybe I should take a tiny glance at her Facebook and Snapchat while we're at it. What's the harm in one look? Don't wanna be a freak, just take a little peek. But what if she's done with me and she's ignoring me? Or what if she's met a man, started making plans, and by 11:15 I'll be alone, forever and ever be alone. Just me, my cat, and my iPhone, drunk and jobless, stuck at home. We all know what happens next, all because I sent that text. I mean, that's one possible option. So time is ticking by and tension is mounting. 57 minutes, 30 seconds, but who's counting? I need a Xanax stat. Is there an app for that? So Netflix is in order, need a real distraction. Desperate measures often call for desperate action. Not sure how this ends. And look, it's season 1 of Friends. No, 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 I won't let my mind confuse me. No, 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 I won't let my heart deceive me. Calm and chill, relax a bit and don't be. Don't be. Don't be. Hey. Whew. That was close.
I forgot that sound effect was there. That was really good. Well done. Cade, that must be a fun song to sing, I must say. Like, there's like, you could tell. It's just well done. Really, really well done.
Thank you.
You're really, really good. Mr. Zachary Bush, so one of the things that I heard is that, yeah, you're kind of like literally going the entire time. Also, it's not exactly just low the whole time. Am I correct in that the part goes a little higher than I'm used to hearing bass lines to add that some of that color? Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's correct. Yeah, there are actually quite a few moments. In this piece, there's a solo moment that's higher, and in other pieces too, it's just like Benedict used the bass kind of very melodically, which was really fun because, like you said, it's not just the 4 on the floor kind of thumping roots all the time. I actually had like a real part that I could, yeah,
right,
yeah, exactly,
right,
and
right.
I could bring some of my artistry too to that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
I definitely, and it's so funny, you know, whenever there's a rhythm section or a bass or a guitar player that gets to do something other than just like the normal stuff they usually have to do, it's always like exciting, especially when someone can actually do it as well as you did. So well done,
thank
well
you.
done. So speaking of the music, let's bring our music director for this recording in. Hello, Greg Palladino. Well done with this recording. And yeah, really, 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 really good work. And so one of the cool things, you know, I love about musicians is that, you know, when we met everyone beforehand, I was meeting everybody, the cast and the, you know, orchestra and the music director. And I'm like, oh, you're the music director. And, you know, like a true consummate professional, Greg was like, no. I was not the music director the entire time. Can you please explain to our friends listening and probably know this already, but Greg, go ahead and explain for us what the situation was that you walked into.
Well, for the staged reading, the original music direction was done at ASU by Danny Lee Hutch, one of my colleagues in the grad program in which I was enrolled. So Danny, to come around to this album, I had been around for the reading and hear her.
It might be cutting.
Played it myself.
Greg, hold on one second. Is he cutting in and out a little bit for everybody else? Great. I thought I was having a moment. My friend, I'm so sorry. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but maybe if you stop the video and you can say all the same things. Oh yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
no sorries here. This is the world we live in. Where and there's never any sorries when it comes to the Zoom world. No. We don't have sorries here. If you turn off the video, we might be able to hear you.
All right. Well, I'll see you all in a moment, but I will keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking, please.
Anyway, so but the kind of new challenge that was brought up when we did this is adding some band members, and of course I did some music direction for all sorts of musicals in the past, and so that was a really fun part for me. And it was, like you say, putting together some intricate instrumentalist parts is always one of my favorite things to do.
Of course, definitely, and you did such a great job of that. Is it hard walking into a job when like everyone else already knows everything, or you know, or is it easier because you don't have to plunk the notes on the piano? I mean, what was the hardest part, I guess, of walking into this? You know, even though it's a colleague that you're sort of stepping in for, and you know these people, but what were some of the things that were a little like, oh, that's a little scary for you?
Well, we had some late additions to the music for this recording, and I think that was probably more challenging than anything else. I would say that the level of professionalism that people showed in coming to these things refreshed and prepared, and I guess having reviewed the things that had already gone on, it was really a matter of me taking what interpretation cues, I guess, and I guess that's the advantage of having a team like Rachel and David working on a show, is that those interpretive choices are all there, and so it's very easy for me to look at and see what people are giving and compare it to the score, and if anything needs to be done, it's pretty easy to do because everything is, first of all, very clear, and second of all, well prepared. So for me, it was really just comparing and making sure that the fidelity of the score was there as well as I could.
Yes, definitely. And I think you did that in spades. I mean, I think it is a huge challenge to step into the work that someone else has already laid out. But I think that even just the fact that you're as sensitive as you are to it is reason why it was a success. I mean, I think, and that you filled those shoes, quote unquote, really, really, really well. So I commend you on the work that you did for this piece, Greg. Really, really nice work.
Thank you.
Oh, there he is. Look at him. There he is. Nice. So let us bring to our party Greta. Where are you, Greta? Hey, there she is. She's in the party room right now. Hi, Greta. So talk to me about, you're going to sing this song on this album right now. We're going to hear Dodging Bullets. Okay, wow. So tell us, can you give us a little bit of the setup of this song? What were some of the challenges? What were some of the, even in some of the darkness, that we can still like some of the things that we get to portray because we're shining a light on something. Can you just speak a little bit about what this song is about and what it was like for you?
Of course. So this is my character Molly, and this is her powerful moment where she's getting out of an abusive relationship finally. Her partner was very abusive to her due to his own personal mental illness issues. And this song is not actually about the mental illness itself, but rather how it affects another person deeply and how that can hurt people as well in your life. And so it's like this super strong power ballad of sorts where she finally gets up the strength to just leave and take the best decision for her own life. And it's rockin', it has guitar, it's so moving and so powerful. And I chose, when I was performing this and like working on this song, to really focus on the powerful moment that it is, because it's so easy to wallow in the sadness and in the hurt and struggle that you find, but it's so nice to find that strength in yourself and both characters to get out of a situation like that. So it was a role model for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people in a situation like that.
That's really wonderful. I'm really glad you said that. Is there anything you think we should, you can make us, we should look out for as we listen to this? Any exciting moments that you liked or anything like that? Or should we just give it a go and just enjoy the ride that it's going to take us on?
It's really cool because I think it's super different from what we've listened to so far in the show. But I think one of my favorite moments is the motif sort of in the middle of it saying I am worthy, and we'll see that a lot during the midst of the show. And so it's a nice break from the strong, moving, powerful rock guitar to this nice moment of self-reflection saying that you are worthy, and that's like my favorite part of the little song.
Awesome. All right, well, let's take a listen to this song, Dodging Bullets.
I can't do it anymore. You're not healthy, and neither am I.
Molly, please, you can't just up and walk away.
I'm not walking away from you. I'm walking toward myself. Not ripping up our photos, just taking them off the shelf. I will not tiptoe through a landmine, only to find this time it's me you're gunning for, to settle some invisible score. Well, not anymore. You push, then you pull, it's like dodging bullets with you. I'm empty, you're full, it's like dodging bullets around you. Intended or not, you have a knack for making me feel I've got a target on my back. And despite my forgiveness, insistence, resistance,
sorry I couldn't or didn't.
No, you did mostly what you could. But these, Ethan, they don't work if you don't take them.
They make me jittery and
I can't go to the hospital again because you don't want to feel jittery. I am worthy. I know I'm worthy. I don't have to feel the shame or take the blame. I will not tiptoe through a landmine, only to find this time it's me you're gunning for, to settle some invisible score. Well, not anymore. No more dodging bullets with you.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
You'll call?
Of course.
And it's okay if I...
Of course. Yes.
Okay. Just to make sure that, you know?
Okay.
There's so much to say.
Then for God's sake, say it.
Oh, it's so good. That's newer. That's a new. I don't know that one. That wasn't from. That's exciting. Well done. Really, 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 really beautiful work. That's exciting. That's really well done. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Wow. We've gone through so much of the cast. We're nearing the end, but we have not met Nellie Schuford yet. Hello, Nellie.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so excited. So tell me the role that you played in this piece.
Yeah.
And a little bit. Yeah.
Similarly to Hannah, actually, and Greta, I did 3 roles. The one we're about to hear is going to be Amy. She is in a recovery group right now for self-harm and kind of dealing with it head on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the song that we're going to hear is called Relying on the Knife. Of course, structurally and all of that in the show, we're nearing like the climax of the piece. The songs are definitely getting more intense, I think is a safe to say. Can you speak a little bit, Nellie, about we've talked, the word we've used a lot is emotional, and of course we can't play emotion, but in a piece like this, when there's so much emotion, there's so much going on, there's so much intensity, how do you balance the vocals and the emotional side of it at the same time? Because I remember this song is not an easy song to sing, and none of these songs are easy songs to sing, but this one I remember particularly difficult when we did this back a couple years ago because of the intensity of it and because of the emotional journey that you have to go on. Can you talk a little bit about some of those challenges and what we can listen for when we hear this song?
Yeah, totally. I mean, sometimes you don't balance it. You think you're going to, and you don't.
That is the most honest, truthful thing. Having interviewed so many people that have done this for decades, and I mean, like millennia, that is so honest, and that is so, you're exactly right. Thank you for being so truthful.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's definitely, what you do in a practice room, what you do in your voice lesson, you're focused solely on vocals. And then heading into a rehearsal, you have to keep some heartbeat in you that you can bring it back to when you're going there emotionally. But it's super hard to, especially singing something like this that, music theater, this is maybe the only song I think I know of about cutting specifically. I think. And so singing something that is intense, like you said, and serious, you want to feel the character, you want to be that character, but you have to make sure you're going to draw a line at a certain point. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely, and keep it safe, definitely. Well, I think this is an incredible song. I think it's a really beautiful song, and even in its intensity. And I'm really super excited to hear the work that you do in this. And anything you want us to look out for or listen to while we hear this piece, Nellie?
Yeah, you'll hear that 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi motive. You'll hear that one again that you've heard in, I think, most of the songs already. You'll hear it in the finale. We kind of keep bringing it back to, you know, this is what the pamphlet is, what I'm supposed to be doing, positive self-talk. So I think you can listen for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Nelly,
Yeah.
for that. So let us listen to Relying on the Knife.
One step at a time, breathing like the pamphlet tells you to. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. Nothing changed. Try again. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Breathing reminds me that I'm not yet dead, but I'm searching for proof I'm alive. See, cuts just need band-aids, and blood just drains away, and then it's gone, and then it's gone. I can do band-aids and water to wash away. That makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. And so I wash away the pain of life, relying on the knife. Hurt is all I feel now, the only way to tell if I'm still breathing. Am I still breathing? This may be the only way to check if I'm okay. My pulse is beating, my heart is bleeding. I don't know who this girl is, this face in the mirror. Too far gone for lessons to teach, 'cause the bleeding that I'm feeling is not from her skin, but from somewhere inside. She can't reach. The bleeding inside can't be reached. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. That makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. But how long can this be my life? Relying on the knife.
Really beautiful work, Nelly. Really beautiful. And thank you for sharing so much of that with us. Boy, you should be proud.
Thank
really
you.
Nice work. So we are nearing the end of our party, y'all. We have a little special moment to share with you. I think David is going to bring this next moment to you guys. David, would you like to say a couple words about the next thing we're going to see?
Sure. So what we've sort of loved and have done from the beginning of the process with Anxiety Project is gathered a family of folks that traverse from several states and also Japan. You know, there's our wonderful Tokyo family who did a translation of the piece, which was wonderful. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I don't know many shows that get to sort of do that. And so I think Rachel and I committed ourselves to making sure that the family, even as it went on, were always the family. So that was really important to us. So with that intro, there was a guest who was pretty integral to an early part of our relationship with Arizona at all, who could not be here today, but wanted to send a message. So this is for y'all.
Hi, Anxiety Project fam. Special shout out Rachel and David. Congrats, you guys, on the release of the official cast recording of Anxiety Project. I miss you all so much, all my fellow Sun Devils and performers that were on this album. I'm just so excited for you guys. I wish I could be there tonight to celebrate with you guys, but I can't. So I'm sending all my love from Seattle. But I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. You guys sound unreal on this recording. The music is stunning. The message is exactly what we need to hear right now. I hope you're all staying safe. And I love you all. Congrats, you guys.
Oh, I love that. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Clearly,
So
you all know her.
for those who don't know, that's Kaylin Creaser, and she was part of our first iteration in Phoenix was a concert of our work that featured Anxiety Project work, but some other things that we're doing as well. And she is currently, well, like all of us, on hiatus, but she's on hiatus from Frozen tour. She's Elsa understudy. And as a bonus, because she's amazing, there's a bonus track on the cast recording for Anxiety Project called Something to Leave Behind. That is not part of the show, but it was a commission for Rachel and I that we wrote some years ago that we thought was really appropriate and weirdly sort of relevant now. It just has this weird Zoom world feel about it that feels sort of great to us. So that piece, if you listen to it as the final track on the cast recording, was recorded in isolation. And we sent her the track, she recorded it there and sent it back to us. So we were not even in the same room, but it's a beautiful song and we're thrilled to have her on board. So
that's wonderful. That's really, really wonderful and such a nice message. So we have one more song, and then we're going to say a couple of things after that song. The song that we're going to finish with tonight is the final song of the piece. It's called Porchlight, and it is honestly. It's so funny. I'm sure you guys have had this experience. Hearing these songs again. It's been a couple years, but I was such a diehard fan and I love this music, but every song I was like, I love that song. That's my favorite song. That's my favorite. And I'm a piano player. So then I'm like, I got to play it. Rachel, can you give me these scores? Cause I need to play this music. I need to play this. But Porchlight, every time you think to yourself, how do you wrap up an evening of such beautiful stories that are truthful? And by the way, those of you involved know these are all based on, am I wrong, David and Rachel? These are all originally based on true stories, true accounts. I mean, you set up the blog, you guys got information from real people, real stories. It's like a chorus line or insert anything, except we're talking about real things. But this Porchlight song, it somehow unifies us all together. And I know that might sound a little Pollyanna. I don't care. And I think it's a beautiful thing, especially now. And I was saying to Rachel earlier, like, what was the last time you listened to a cast recording with a bunch of people hanging out together? I haven't in a long time. I do it by myself, but it's really, really fun. So I want to, a couple things in this moment that I'm having, but share with Rachel and David, thank you for bringing us all together for this joy that is the Anxiety Project, that while you can have a serious thing, you can still find joy and connectivity in that. So I just want to have a moment to thank Rachel and David for bringing us all together and being a part of the same tribe, even if just for this party tonight. So well done, you guys. Thank you for the work that you've done. Is there anything you guys want to say before we listen to this final song? We're going to talk afterwards, but is there anything you want to say about this song Porchlight or anything? You guys don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot, but anything you want to say about this piece, Rachel?
I would love to actually say, I'm going to let it play both sort of closers. So it's going to go from Porchlight into Rise, which is our sort of new closer that I can't remember what we wrote it for, maybe for Tokyo. Now it's part of the thing. Okay. We're like, we like them both. Let's just keep them both. So that's why there are two songs that feel like they should close the show. Kind of a Kinky Boots style thing. If you're familiar. Sure. Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King situation. We just can't let the show end. So that's what I would say.
Great. Hey, can't have too much of a good thing.
I know one day you'll find your way back to me. No matter how long, I know you think that I went away when life fell apart. You couldn't be more wrong. I only ever wanted to be care for you like I said I would do, like I said I would do,
like I am supposed to do.
but I need to see this through and help you see and leave the porch light on for when you're needing me. Find your way, fight this fight,
And when you feel it's too dark to see,
let the porch light lead you back to me.
How about I walk you through what they will ask you?
How about we leave? Okay, yes, I know, you're right. Jeez, I feel sorry for your future patients, you hard ass.
Yeah, sometimes so do I.
So, lay it on me, doctor.
On a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being never and 5 being always, answer the following questions. How often do you feel anxious, worried, or scared?
3.
How often do you have trouble sleeping?
2, or maybe 3.
How often do you despair to the point of wishing harm upon yourself?
2.
At present, how often in the last 3 months have you made plans for or attempts at self-harm?
1.
I could be your here now.
I could be your long gone.
I could be your glass of lemonade.
I could be your street sign. I could be your detour. I could be the one who always stay. But I need to see this through and help you see. Leave the porch light on when you're needing me. Find your way, fight this fight. And when you feel it's too dark to see, let the porch light lead you back to me. When you feel it's too dark, let the porch light lead you back to me.
This almost had a different ending.
I know.
But because of you.
Because of you, Macy. And this step is brave. It's huge.
So, what now?
There's a blanket in the bathtub. I mean, if you...
I'll take it. I've grown accustomed to the rain, how hard it falls and how it calls out my pain. I've known how shame can darken skies. When truth sets in, it's hard to see beyond the lies. But I won't let clouds distract my view. Long as I've got you, we can stand up and be seen. We'll rise from the depths the struggle takes us to. We rise with the strength we have in me and you. Like a phoenix from the ashes, roaring strong like thunder crashes. We rise, rise, we will rise.
I've grown used to words of hate, a gathered crowd all shouting loud and throwing weight.
But I know the sound rebellion makes, lifted high across the sky, it ripples and quakes.
And the time has come to make it heard, bit by bit, word by word. We will stand up and be seen. We'll rise
From the depths the struggle takes us to. We rise with the strength we have in me and you. Like a phoenix from the ashes, roaring strong like thunder crashes. We rise, rise.
I am worthy. I am worthy. I don't have to feel the shame or take the blame. I am worthy. I am worthy. I don't have to feel the shame or take
take the blame. I am worthy. I am worthy. I don't have to feel the shame or take the blame or take the blame. We rise from the depths the struggle takes us to. We rise with the strength we have in me and you, like a phoenix from the ashes, roaring strong like thunder crashes. We rise, rise. We will rise, rise. Rise, rise. With the sound of death sighs, not what life is left forsaken, not what road is left untaken. Together we rise. Phoenix from the ashes. Together we rise. Roaring strong like thunder crashes. We rise, rise. We will rise. We will rise, rise. We will rise.
Well done. Wow, that was awesome. I don't know that last one, so that was really, really fun to hear. So before we end this party, David, do you want to say something about the Instagram takeover that is going to be the next person who's going to be doing that?
I do. So we have had so much fun doing that. I think the cast started it, the process, and they were amazing, and it was so much fun. You can probably go back and watch some of that anyway. So tomorrow we go back. Oh, and Kevin, you know her. We're going back to NIFA again. So tomorrow, Annabelle Sheputovsky, who was in the NIFA cast, is going to take over Instagram tomorrow at Dean Brush Music. So please follow her all day. And she promises to end the day with an amazing cover of one of the AP songs. So make sure that you listen in, because I've heard this cover and it's so fun. You'll love it. So check us out tomorrow. Again, that's at Dean Brush Music on Instagram. Annabelle taking over tomorrow.
Great. She's fantastic. And I'm excited that she's going to do a little cover of it too. Great voice, great performer. That's wonderful. So that is our party. Thank you all so, so much. I just want to first of all thank our writers, Rachel and David. I want to thank our orchestrator, Benedict. I want to thank our director, Kate. I want to thank our music director, Greg. I want to thank our bass player, Zachary. I want to thank our cast, Nelly, Cade, Griffin, Gigi, Greta, Hannah, the other Cade. You guys, this has been so much fun. And we want to thank all of you out there listening now and later. Thank you so very much for celebrating this wonderful piece. Please go on YouTube when it comes out on all the streaming places. Buy The Anxiety Project. You will be glad you did. Tell your theaters to do it. Tell your community theaters to do it. Tell everyone to do it, because this work needs to be heard. And so thank you all so much for letting us all be a part of the same tribe tonight. Thank you for letting me be a part of this tonight. And thank you for spending your evening with all of us tonight. So
yes,
have a
thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
That was such a good wrap up, and I still have like 6 more thank yous to do. I'm so sorry.
No, take it away, Rachel.
I want to thank Clark Rigsby for mixing and recording all of this. He was amazing to work with. It was just a wonderful Tempest Recording Studios in Phoenix. Cannot go wrong. Nathan James, who did our mastering, which also sounds amazing. Robbie Carrillo, who played drums. Megan Marshall, who played guitar. Sarah Louise, the member of the cast who couldn't be here today. Brian Damaris, who's the head of the theater program, who basically made all of this happen, and Robbie Harper, who is the guy in charge of the new works at Phoenix Theater, who also is basically responsible for making this happen. Thank you all so much.
Boy.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people are involved in making these things happen. And there's even more people, I'm sure, that we even didn't even have a chance to say thank you to. But keep making art, keep celebrating, and thank you all for being here tonight, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll see you soon.